Welcome my friends to Niagara Falls in a winter wonderland setting. We spent here 3 amazing days and we're in absolute awe. Witnessing this endless flow of massive amount of water and its thundering sound was an incredible feeling. But it wasn't just that. Frozen rivers and rainbows and butterflies, food and wine, science and history. But also Niagara Falls is shared by 2 countries, USA and Canada, and both offer completely different views and experiences that complement each other. This is one of those rare places where Mother Nature unites its children to work together in a true harmony. So we have a lot to unpack and it's going to be fun. But first, please, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and share this channel with your friends. I travel to different states of United States and explore life and nature and culture of each destination and share my experiences with you. The goal is to explore all 50 states and hopefully learn some wisdom along the way. But now, here's my guide to Niagara Falls experience in winter. Okay, the first thing you do when you arrive to Niagara Falls is you drop your bags and go see the falls. And one of the really special things here is the surprise factor. There's no warning what's coming until you're actually seeing it. In the US side, the falls are in the Niagara State Park, and the first thing you see is the river. It really just looks like rough rapids. And then, bam, there's a drop. On Canada side, it's a different surprise. The first time you see the falls is as you drive towards Welcome Center, and you see it as a part of the city, which is also really unexpected. It's like having the Grand Canyon in the middle of modern life, just casually with the roads and buildings and parks built around it. On American side, you get the American waterfalls, and that little skinny one is a Bridal Veil waterfall, and of course Horseshoe is in Canada side. American waterfall is about 190 feet and about 1,000 across, while the Horseshoe one is again about 189, but it's 2,000 across. Deepest place is by the Horseshoe Fall. It's as deep as it's tall, so it's 189 feet up and 189 feet down, so that's quite incredible. Niagara Falls was formed at the end of Ice Age, when the melting ice started draining into the Niagara River. It runs from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario, and it is 36 miles long. Alright, a lot of people ask me, why travel to Niagara Falls in winter? And I have a few reasons for that, and I stand by them. First, of course, is the beauty. Nature in winter wonderland setting is a unique sight. Second, no crowds. Sometimes we have these grand falls all to ourselves. You get to connect with nature. Falls are like live beings. They're massive, they speak thunder. They shower you with frozen mist. You feel special that this insane beauty is speaking to you. It's freaking insane! And yes, this time we were challenged by record-breaking cold weather. The winds were brutal, and we had to deal with cameras that were failing from the cold, along with our frozen fingers. It was for sure an adventure, but we made it work, and we bonded with some strangers and had an absolutely incredible day.
It's totally worth it though.
Having said that, winter is a long time, and if you can avoid the coldest weather, then you'll get all the benefits without the pain. Also, Canada built a 4 million lighting grid and illuminates the falls every winter night and do fireworks every weekend, which you can see on both sides. Fun fact. So 100 years ago, Prince of Wales was coming to see Niagara, and they built 200 lights around the falls to celebrate the arrival. And I'm guessing that's where the tradition started, but this new grid, you can see how grand and powerful it is. It has much less energy consumption, and I thought it was really, really cool. Borders. I get it. We need borders, at least at this point of humanity development. But Niagara Falls is one of those places that makes you wonder if we could ever get to the point of not being countrymen and women, but more like earthmen and women. The borderline here in the middle of the river means nothing to the nature. It only means something to us. But the good news is that Niagara Falls here is one of those rare places where nature and two countries work very harmoniously together: USA, Canada, and nature. So Niagara Falls obviously has huge powers and is the birthplace of hydroelectric power plant that use the electric system that we're actually using today. Nikola Tesla developed this system specifically with Niagara Falls in mind. Both sides celebrate Nikola Tesla and celebrate the development of science. In Canada's side, they use the original power station to show people how it works. But the falls are not the only ones working here. We help falls too. And we never really think about it, but due to erosion, Niagara Falls are moving and getting shaved off, and they're destined to turn into a rapid river eventually. But we built reinforcement and divert water to slow down erosion. In summer, they divert 50% of the normal falls flow. In winter, they divert 75%. So let me make it clear, this is 25% of natural fall flow. This amazing view is a Horseshoe Falls and is best seen in Niagara Falls, Canada. Oh my God! It's also the best place to start. All you need to do is to cross the Rainbow Bridge and pass the customs. During the summer months, it may be a long affair, but this time of the year, we just breezed through the customs. Niagara Falls, Canada is very much built for tourists, and I am usually a snob about going to touristy places, but there were so few people that you could actually connect to nature. And the area is built with a lot of grace and great taste. There's a nice balance between different falls viewing angles and learning about falls and power it produces, and also shopping and restaurants and museums. Perfect for breaks from the cold in winter.
Straight into the gift shop.
I have an entire video dedicated to Niagara Falls in Canada where I talk about the itinerary and all the details. The same thing about Niagara Falls, USA. So if you haven't already, please check it out. And that way I don't have to go over the details. But so you know what to expect. Canada's side is very organized. You start your trip with Welcome Center, where you get information on all the attractions, the boats, funiculars, tunnels, all designed to see the falls up close from different angles.
Got the tickets, we're going in.
We did the walk behind the falls.
Look at those icicles!
Then we explored the power plant station and walked through the tunnel to the water level of the falls.
Basically at the bottom of Horseshoe Fall.
The world is just so beautiful sometimes. And I have to mention the butterfly pavilion with thousands of butterflies fluttering around vegetation in the middle of winter. And this is one of the things I've always dreamed about, that if I ever move to a cold climate, I will build myself a greenhouse on top of my house and have the tropical ecosystem all year long with butterflies and plants. On the American side, you get a very different experience. It feels more unpolished and authentic. Here you come up close and personal to American and Bridal Veil Falls, which are within State Park. And the main attraction, Cave of the Winds, is on the Goat Island that you can just walk to. As part of attraction, at first they show you a short film about Niagara Falls history, and unlike in Canada where everything is just so nice and polished, here they actually show that when people especially in early 1900s, when people realized that they can make money out of falls, they almost destroyed it. but activists fought back and won. Okay, Cave of the Winds, very special and a must-see at any time of the year, but in winter, it is truly a bucket list kind of experience. There was a natural cave behind Bridal Veil Falls. It was 130 feet high, where winds could reach up to 68 miles an hour. The cave itself was obliterated in a massive rockfall, but they built a hurricane deck path 175 feet down into the Niagara Gorge, and it is incredible. You're basically surrounded by storm-like conditions, completely overwhelmed by the sound of crashing Bridal Veil Falls. It looks so small comparing to other falls, but it is absolutely mighty. You can't miss it. Food on both sides is plentiful, but I must mention, within just 2 minutes of the park in USA side, there's a culinary institute, and as a part of class, they run a restaurant Savor. Every semester, new class would come up with a menu and serve as a regular restaurant, except that you pay for a Top Chef 3-meal course, $30.
You get a macaroon.
That's yours.
Okay, I'll have it. Thank you. He's so nice. Definitely make reservation ahead of time. We didn't, but because it was winter, so they had a couple of bar seats open. But another perk of lack of winter crowd, on the USA Day, we had extra time, so we drove back to Canada for ice wine tasting. Just hopped in for 2 hours and out. There's a whole line of wineries here in Niagara-on-the-Lake area, and ice wine is their specialty. And the scenery is so different. Frozen rivers, bare grape wines and snow, so different from wineries in California. Visiting Niagara Falls is truly an adventure, and it's also a sensory experience. The sight and sound and the touch of frozen mist, it wakes up your senses to the degree how you feel when you were a kid. And it also is a multicultural experience. One nature, two countries, both have such a different approach of presentation. Canada is so nice and polished, and USA is so raw and authentic. And then there's winter. Its beauty is just so cold and stunning. It is so uncomfortable too. But the moment you find a refuge in some warm place, you get overtaken by a gratitude for the beauty of the world, of life, and for the cold that allows you to recognize the warmth, and for sure the warmth itself. And to me, when I get to feel that way, it's a really good day.
Watching all the lovers fall into the night, all the moods in a heartbeat. We're going back where it all began. The same ground on the heartbeat starts to shake with you all we can.
When I die and my children are gonna have my ashes, now I know where they're gonna spread them. Imagine my children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren are coming here because they're gonna be such an outing. And that's where I wanna be for eternity. Oh my God.